This is the compound levels chart, which sits in tracking, and it answers a question your logbook never can. Not what did I take, but what is still in me right now. Everything on this screen runs on one idea, which is half-life, the time your body needs to clear half of what is there. That is the whole concept. Say something has a 5-day half-life. Then 5 days after a dose, half of it remains. And 5 days after that, you are down to a quarter, then an eighth. That is why these lines fall the way they do. It is not a straight slide down to zero, but a steep drop first, and then a long, slow tail. So the early days do most of the clearing, while the last traces hang around far longer than most people expect. Here is a single dose on its own, climbing as it absorbs, peaking, and then beginning the long walk down. Now, watch what happens when the next dose arrives before the last one has cleared, because it stacks, and the new dose lands on top of the leftover. Repeat that week after week, and the floor keeps climbing until you level off higher than any single dose ever put you. And that plateau has a name: steady state. It is why a protocol can feel different in week 6 than it did in week 1 with nothing else changed. Each line here is one compound, and the legend underneath names them. The dashed line is now, so everything to the left of it is built from doses you actually logged, while everything to the right is projection, which is what the math expects if you add nothing new. These 4 buttons change the lens. 24 hours and 48 hours are for the fast movers, where the whole story happens inside a day. 7 days and 30 days pull back far enough to show the stacking pattern across an entire protocol. Micrograms or milligrams is the same data at a different scale, so the small peptides read better in micrograms and the heavier ones in milligrams. View. All compounds opens the full list, everything you track, ranked by how much is on board right now. Open any one of them and you get its own chart and its own numbers, its half-life. When it peaked, what percent of that peak is left, the date it finally clears, and how many doses you have logged into it. Here is where this screen earns its place, because a gap in your schedule shows up as a visible dip and you can see how long something lingers after you stop. When you notice you feel different, you have a picture of what was actually on board that week. One thing matters more than all of it. This is a model built from the doses you logged and the published half-life for each compound. So it is not a blood test. Read it as the shape of the trend rather than a measurement, because your blood work is the truth and this chart is the map that helps you read it. So that is compound levels, the payoff for every dose you bothered to log, because this chart is only ever as honest as what you put into it. Log it and the app shows you the whole story. There is more waiting for you in the Learn tab whenever you want it. Take care of the body you were given. I will see you in the next one.